Welcome to Patch Notes, everyone. I'm your host, Wingodang. This week actually had some pretty good game announcements as compared to just some rumors. Between Call of Duty and the DC games from DC FanDome, it's some good looking stuff. So let's cut the chit chat and get right into this week's episode. ROCKSTEADY and Warner Bros. Montreal start us off for the third week in a row. They announced 2 new games this week at DC FanDome. The first one we'll look at was Gotham Knights from Warner Bros. Montreal, an open world game focused on the Bat family, including Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, and Red Hood. It seems to be based off of the Court of Owls comic book storyline, but not connected to the Arkhamverse line of games we currently know. We got both a cinematic and a gameplay trailer. It will have an available 2-player online co-op, but players can choose to also play the entire game solo. It is coming to current and next-gen platforms in 2021. On ROCKSTEADY's side of things, they unveiled Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League to be released in 2022 for PC, PS5, and Series X. This game does take place in the same canon as the current Arkhamverse and features the anti-heroes up against Brainiac and a mind-controlled Justice League. Players will take control of Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, or King Shark in either single-player or 4-player cooperative modes. All 4 characters can be switched between and taken control of by a CPU if no player fills in the space. Although, can someone tell me the deal with Suicide Squad? Like, they had the one movie. I don't know why DC keeps pushing it on us, but if some people like it, I guess that works for them. Tales of Arise has been rated in Australia. The game was first revealed at E3 2019 with a planned release in 2020. It was pushed back to 2021 though, due to the ambitious nature of the project. Usually games are getting close to the release when they are submitted for ratings, so it is possible we might see this game early next year. These pictures leaked online showing Switch control schemes for the Tony Hawk Pro Skater remasters. The game is only confirmed for PC, Xbox One, and PS4 as of right now, but like all Activision games, there always seems to be a Switch port around the corner or around the next year. We got a slew of official Call of Duty information this week, including a full PR release, trailer, and more. The game does come out November 13th, with a full multiplayer reveal on September 9th. Pre-orders are available for current-gen consoles and PC, while next-gen info will be available when those consoles get their release dates. One addition of this game I would like to note is the cross-gen bundle, which allows players to upgrade to next-gen for an additional $10 at a $69, nice, and $99 total price. The Ultimate Edition also includes this upgrade, but not the base edition, so it does seem like Activision will be going for the $70 base price for next-gen games, at least Call of Duty. A Zombies mode will be returning with this entry, and the trailer itself, as I've said 400 times, was very Cold War, with Vietnam and an animated Ronald Reagan both being featured. The PR release did confirm that more of the game will be taking place in the 80s though, as compared to the 60s. If you loathe the idea of going all digital when it comes to buying and owning games, this news might sting a bit. Ubisoft posted this on their support site, stating that pre-orders for the collector's editions of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Far Cry 6, and Watch Dogs Legion for Xbox will receive a digital key to redeem instead of a physical disc. Collector's editions for PlayStation will receive physical game discs. This does not state whether the change is for all retailers or just pre-orders from the Ubisoft store, albeit I don't really see the point of buying physical collector's versions of a game if you don't get the game physically as well. Here's some fun Nintendo news before we get to some other stuff. In Taiwan, IKEA and Animal Crossing have merged for the furniture company's yearly catalog. It features furniture sets redesigned with in-game items, along with characters and varying villagers placed throughout. You can check out the whole collection on their Facebook page. Data miners have uncovered a Switch SDK in the source files of Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. Twitter user Oatmeal Dome found the Nintendo SDK plugin.dll in the files of the Steam version. While there may not be any plans to bring the game over to the Switch, it seems the option to do so does exist. They did note that this file could have been mistakenly placed or activated by Mediatonic though. A Taipei-based newspaper is claiming that new Switch hardware will be coming in early 2021 based on manufacturing sources. Here's a little rundown of all the info they received from those sources. If any of this is true, we would most likely see the new Switch-related hardware in early next year, with production starting this December. Later in the week though, a letter to the FCC from Nintendo shows they requested to change some points about the Switch, somewhat bolstering the previous claims. This includes a change of system on a chip, a change of memory, memory and a change of the CPU board due to the prior two changes. So we're looking at things like new memory, maybe a different processor, a different motherboard. If anything, I feel like this might be more along like a console revision rather than the new powerful Switch everyone keeps hoping for. It'll probably be more like the new 3DS or something along those lines. But stay tuned here for any official announcements regarding it. A new Game Boy game has been funded over 24,000 euros at the time of this writing for development and release on the original handheld. The game is called Where's My Body and has players taking control of a giant hand, solving puzzles, and trying to find its body. The initial funding goal was only 4,000 euro, and it has well exceeded that amount. It's just really cool to see a new game get developed for such old hardware, and I think the creator puts it best saying, the market for old consoles is almost obsolete, but there are a lot of people that still use these systems and have another perspective of the history of video games and old tech. While a direct was rumored for this week, I really was not expecting this. Another partner showcase Direct Mini was aired, and wow, it really was a video game presentation. Some games piqued my interest a little bit, like the Kingdom Hearts rhythm game, and oh yeah, the other rhythm game, Fuser. What else we got? Just Dance 2021, a dancing rhythm game not coming to the original Nintendo Wii. Yeah, you know, if you just check it out for yourself over on their YouTube. I don't find anything in here newsworthy. Except for Taiko no Tatsujin Rhythmic Adventure Pack. It's a drum RPG. It's literally perfection. Actually, there was one interesting tidbit to come out of that partner showcase related to something else. Those excited to play Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remaster with their friends overseas are going to be a little disappointed. Square Enix confirmed in some fine print, the 6th line down specifically, that in multiplayer mode, player will only be matched with others in the region specific to that player's software. So while the latest direct it did say you could play with others near and far, it's only as far as the boundary of your region. Okay, got some more juicy Epic versus Apple news. While Microsoft vocally backed Epic in their fight against Apple, they put out an official statement supporting Epic's request to keep the Apple SDK for Unreal Engine. Kevin Gamil, the general manager for gaming developer experiences, said this: Epic Games' Unreal Engine is a critical technology for numerous game creators, including Microsoft, and Apple's discontinuation of Epic's ability to develop and support Unreal Engine for iOS or macOS will harm game creators and gamers. Luckily enough, Epic did win the temporary restraining order they were seeking in keeping their Apple SDK. The California courts put this out saying, Apple and all persons in active concert or participation with Apple are temporarily restrained from taking adverse action against Epic Games with respect to restricting, suspending, or terminating any affiliate of Epic Games from Apple's developer program, including as to Unreal Engine. I feel this is a fair move, as Apple seem to be revoking their SDK privileges out of spite rather than actual violations, and I think it's fair that no one takes drastic action until the case is completely handled in court. This order is in place until the court issues an order on the motion for a preliminary injunction. Apple did have something to say to the courts in reply to that, specifically why a preliminary injunction should not be issued. This one is a very long legal document that if you want the full details, I suggest you take a look at, but Apple seems to believe that this preliminary injunction should not be issued for 3 reasons. First, Epic's requested relief is mandatory, not prohibitory. Second, the revocation of access to all developer tools and accounts are authorized by contract. And finally, Epic has not provided enough evidence that Unreal Engine's business would be significantly harmed. I am not totally sure how to digest the reply. I'm not a legal background of any means, but I do know only further court proceedings will decide the fate of this case. Yet with all this going on, this does mean some players, specifically those on iOS, will not receive the newest Fortnite update. The Fortnite Twitter account posted this saying, Apple has blocked your ability to update Fortnite on the App Store and has said they will terminate our ability to develop Fortnite for Apple devices. As a result, Chapter 2 Season 4 will not release on Apple devices on August 27th. While I understand Epic's reasoning for starting this big fight with Apple, they have unfortunately alienated some of their players in the process. A quick EA story. A couple of weeks ago we heard that NHL 21 was getting delayed, and now we have the new release date. The game will be coming out on October 13th for all hockey fans to enjoy. The game got a new trailer for the release date, and it featured the cover player, and excuse my butchered pronunciation, Alexander Ovechkin. Yakuza Like a Dragon got a release date this week, pointing towards another possible Series X launch date. The game is slated for November 13th on current-gen consoles, with just a November window for Series X. The game is supposed to release next to the Series X. We could see the Series X the week before, according to the Controller Street date leak, or possibly the 13th, corresponding with this game's release. Seeing as we still don't know any next-gen pricing for both the Series X and PS5, these consoles might as well shadow drop at this point, and you find the price at the register. Why not? In some other SEGA news, they have ended the SEGA Ages line they were using to bring older games to the Nintendo Switch. Don't worry, those games will still be up on the eShop for purchase, they just won't be using the SEGA Ages name anymore. Yosuke Okunari has confirmed that SEGA is not done re-releasing older games to newer platforms though. He said, considering SEGA Ages has ended, some may be wondering if we have plans to continue re-releasing past titles on Nintendo Switch. I want that to happen, and I hope to bring something over that will really satisfy Switch players. So until then, we'll hope you look forward to it. For all the PC gamers, NVIDIA 3090 may have leaked online this week. Twitter user Garner Sunset put these pictures up with a little information. This is the card, sized up to a 2080 reference card. It is a triple slot with one fan, but it's much larger than the 2080 in both width and height. The new card is supposedly a Titan equivalent for around $1,400 USD. This is all rumor right now, but we do have that NVIDIA event coming up soon, so stay tuned there for official announcements. The Initiative, Microsoft's latest studio acquisition, has been on a sort of hiring spree. A lot of talent has been joining the studio from places like Respawn, Naughty Dog, Crystal Dynamics, Bungie, Rockstar, and more. The Initiative has mentioned they want to be a smaller team, probably for product quality control, and while we know they are working on something big, there are no details about what or when we'll get information regarding that project. Some rumors have been circulating that Halo Infinite's release might get pushed back even further. Halo's community manager has come to the rescue though, saying there'll be no plans to change our 2021 release or the devices and platforms we'll be supporting. We're building Halo Infinite to be the best it can be on each device and platform. And I'm a little bit more inclined to believe this, as 343 has just brought someone back to help with the development of Halo Infinite. Joseph Stanton, a Halo development veteran who worked with Bungie on the original Halo games, has been placed as the project lead for campaign. The blog post on 343's website said Joseph will be focused on supporting the campaign's team's existing, talented, creative leaders and ensuring they have everything they need to create an awesome Halo game. This is great to hear and should at least put some doubts to rest regarding the game. Hopefully the extra development time and the new staff member will help them deliver something really special. Quick Microsoft update. September's games with gold have been announced. Tom Clancy's The Division, The Book of Unwritten Tales, D-Blob 2, and Armed and Dangerous will all be available to active Xbox Live Gold subscribers in the month of September. Sony has sent out these emails to select PlayStation members, basically an opportunity to be one of the first to pre-order a PS5 from PlayStation themselves. Other retailers will most likely have their own pre-order events, but if you are selected, you can pre-order one console, either the digital only or physical version, and a limited amount of other accessories. You do have to live in the US, at least according to the FAQ. Different regions may have the same promotion, but you do have to live in said region to be applicable. Technically, anyone can apply, but if their email list doesn't match your PSN account email, then you won't receive an email to pre-order. If selected though, I might take my shot and get one. Despite being Team Xbox for so long, Spider-Man and Bug Snacks are just calling my name, man. I just need some of those bug snacks. Another quick update, this month's PS Plus games include Street Fighter V and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Both of these will be available September 1st to active PS Plus subscribers. IGN spoke with Jeff Keighley about this year's Game Awards. Keighley said that the show was going virtual. We are obviously not going to have 10,000 people in a room together physically for the show, but I think you'll see a little bit of this with how we do Gamescom. While the show might be online, I assume many of us have been watching from home anyways, including myself. If this year's show looks like Gamescom, I'm going to be a little concerned because Gamescom kicked off this Thursday, but the opening night live show was a little disappointing to a lot of people. I was not able to watch it live, but I did go back and watch some of the trailers. They showed a lot of new information for games that we already knew about, but not a lot of new announcements that they've promised so far. Personally, the LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga trailer was like my favorite of the whole stream. Do note that has been pushed back to 2021 though. The Ratchet & Clank demo also looked really fun and is kind of pushing me more towards pre-ordering that PS5. If you are interested though, the show goes on the whole weekend, so maybe after this video goes live, there might be some more worthwhile news out there. To wrap the week up, Valve is sort of updating Half-Life 2. Modders and community members have been working on a very large expansion for the game called The Last Stand. Valve has somewhat supported the game, making official blog posts about the update. Hopefully, there is some more support behind the scenes as well, and this update will give everyone the little Valve fix they need until their next VR game. Had a good amount of new and somewhat new releases this week. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered hits on PS4, Switch, iOS, and Android. The Last Campfire comes out for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Surgeon Simulator 2 on PC. Madden NFL 21 on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Captain Tsubasa Rise of New Champions on PS4, Switch, and PC. Jump Force for Switch. Wasteland 3 on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And the Control Ultimate Edition on PC. Leave your thoughts down below about this week's news. Despite how excited I am for it, I'm really hoping Gamescom can bring a little bit more to the table than just a LEGO Star Wars trailer. Are there any games you'd like to see shown at the event? Are you going to be signing up to order a PS5? I'm heavily considering it right now over the Series X. I know I can just play Halo on my PC anyways, and Bug Snacks? Yeah, Bug Snacks. And what about that Nintendo news? Yeah, you know, I don't know either. It feels like they've just kind of given up on 2020, but this is Mario's 35th anniversary. There might still be something they just kind of slip in at the end of the year. You never know. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button. It really helps out. But if you didn't, leave a dislike and, let me know what you think I could be doing better. If you want to see more, make sure to get subscribed and hit the bell to get notified of new uploads. As always, I'm your host Wingodang, and I will see you guys next Friday.